I'm starting to make a pair of wooden sunglasses, and I'm just using this piece of plywood we normally use for laser cutting, but this is my prototype really that I'm working on now, and the finished product will be made out of a nicer wood. But I have the rough shape that I'd like to cut it out of, and I'm going to cut it out on the bandsaw and then just see how well it fits. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sanding this. Go ahead and finish cleaning this up on the spindle sander. It barely fits over this. Now it's okay because I'm going to be making this hole bigger and it'll come out easier. Now this slides off a lot easier with that hole widened. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the second one on. That one went on pretty easy. This is just my prototype, but it's really starting to take shape. I'm kind of filing in the part where your nose will rest. Makes it a little bit more comfortable. I'm just shaping this nose part where it'll really conform to your nose. It makes it a lot more comfortable. I have my form roughly completed. What I'm going to do is take a 2x4 like this, and I made a mark right there near the end of it with a little bit of clearance. What I'm going to do is cut it right here, and then I'm going to trace a curve on the top here that'll look roughly like this, except obviously more uniform. And then I'll take it on the bandsaw and I'll cut that curve. Then I'll have like a mold. Then what I'll do is put this in boiling water, put this between the two halves of the mold, and clamp it down, and that should add a little bit of a curve to this. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a pot of boiling water, and that'll start to soften. Go ahead and turn off the burner, and we'll put this into my mold. Now we'll put this in place. I can definitely feel it's much more malleable. Now we'll go ahead and clamp it. I'm gonna let this sit for about half an hour. We can go ahead and take this out of our mold here. See if it's retained its shape, and it looks like it has. That's pretty cool. Look at that, it's got the curve in there. Now I'll roughly cut out these side pieces. Now I'll do the inside curve with the spindle sander. Now I'll just do some deburring. Now I'll create this hinge by cutting a slot into the frame here, and then on this piece I'll cut two pieces like coming in like that. It'll make more sense as I do it. Now with that slot in there, I need to make these fit into those slots. Now I'll take a little bit off with a file at a time, just so I can take a controlled amount of material off. That's a good fit right there. It slides right into place. Now let's do the same thing to the other side. It would have been a lot easier if I would have started out by doing these on the laser cutter. I actually have the digital files. For some reason I just did it manually. Although that's always fun to do it manually. I enjoyed doing it. I'm not quite done. I still have to drill the little holes for the hinges, but I got both of these fit up. And I think you can sort of see how that hinge will work. But for the most part, these are done. And this is really just my prototype. I think for future models that I'm going to make, I'm probably going to use the laser cutter to cut it out, because that would be a lot easier, but this has been a lot of fun. I think what I might need to end up doing with these hinges is just gluing them on. Just since this is my prototype, I really learned a lot from this, and what I learned from this, I brought over to this one. Whenever I made this, I wanted to look at like if I liked how it looked, mainly because I wanted to make this to fit a certain piece of wood that I have. I have a piece of Bolivian rosewood that would look good as the face of it, but it's too scrunched, honestly. Like here's a pair that I was kind of modeling after. They really need to hang down farther. So what I did was I took a piece of black walnut and I sort of just traced that shape on there. And then I cut this out, formed it, and first of all, it looks pretty good. I just finished it, and I'm very happy with it. And then what I learned from this one, I'm gonna transfer over to this one. But I'm really liking this. My prototype turned out well, and I learned that really, this looks sort of like a prescription pair of glasses. It's too scrunched. I really like this style a lot more. and I think this is gonna turn out nice.